Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking. All right, so shout out to everybody who is in the building early. It is good to see each and every one of you. If you guys can hear me okay, please give me a thumbs up or a radiation emoji in the chat. If you guys are having difficulty hearing or seeing for whatever reason, please give me a thumbs down or an angry face. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to shout out everybody that's in the building early. All right. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Good to see you as always. And shout out to my man Unsunken One. Good to see you as always. And shout out to the other 14 people who are tuned in and haven't said anything yet. All right. So we've been talking about TREN DE ARAGUA. Shout out to the people that watched the stream on Undocumented. If you guys did not get a chance to check out that stream this morning, please make sure that you guys check it out. Hopefully one of the mods will be kind enough to put the link to the stream in the chat. You guys can check that out if you want to. If you're not subscribed over there, subscribe. There's a video that's been going around that's been going viral. All right. I don't know if anybody's seen it. People have been reacting to it. We're going to react to it because it's interesting. It's got some interesting perspectives. Shout out to this brother. His name is 216 Skano. All right. So I don't know, but to me, sounds like he's somebody from around my way with the 216 in front of his name and that name Skano. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? He looked like one of the brothers, you know what I'm saying, from around these pots, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to the 216. I don't know this, right? I've never seen this content creator before, but I am actually going to be checking out his channel because the channel looked pretty dope. That's a lot of the type of content that I watch like that. So shout out to him. This video, if I'm not mistaken, it got like 80,000 views. A lot of people reacted to it, and it's an interesting perspective. You guys know how I am. I'm probably not going to agree with everything on there. I'm probably going to put a lot of my own perspective on there, and of course, you guys are welcome to as well. Shout out to Marvin Cox. What's good with it, bro? All right. So, and then after we get finished, there's 2 videos that he made. We're going to check out both of them. And then we're going to look at an article from the Chicago Tribune. All right. Also, I want to let you guys know, and shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Make sure y'all throw some flames in the chat for Brooklyn Queen for putting Undocumented in the chat. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you guys go over there and check out the content over there. We're going to be doing it's going to be a lot of streams today, a lot of videos dropping. So shout out to y'all. Hopefully y'all catch it on the replays. If y'all miss them, don't even trip. Just watch the replays. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be a stream on Megatron today. So if you guys aren't subscribed to Megatron, if the mods, I know I'm working y'all, but we got a lot of wrenches. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of mods. You know what I'm saying? So y'all got it. You know what I'm saying? If y'all could throw the Megatron link in the chat, that would be great because it will be a stream on there today. All right, so hopefully y'all be able to catch that. All right, and without further ado, we're going to check out what this brother had to say.
Yo, what's good? It's Skano. Y'all know how this was able to happen? You know how I've already explained how the cartels be linked in with the different family members and associates that migrate to America.
Now, check this out, right? It's funny. I'm going to run this back because we already about to stop it and start it. It's funny that he said that because I've always talked about this, how these people come from the countries of the plug. These people come from the countries of the plug. So not only do they come with like that ingrained criminal element, but also they come with the drugs at a discount price. They come in with, as far as, you know, y'all know what I'm talking about. They come in with less than 10 a key. Less than 10 a key. And the way that people are booting stuff up now with you know, volume expanders, quote unquote, like, you know, heroin, and are, you know, using fentanyl and stuff like that. And fentanyl is coming from these places also. They're already coming with the Sam's Club type discount. And in a lot of cases, they related to the plug. Like they're actually coming from the country of the plug. So that kind of changes a lot of dynamics with things as far as things goes on the street. However, if you ask me, the streets don't have a retirement plan except for at a funeral home. So sometimes when things start to change, maybe the idea is, hey, maybe it's time for us to like go and do corporate warfare instead of in the street. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe it's time to get out of the street and maybe it's time to like get a network security certification. Just a thought. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, what's good? It's Skano. Y'all know how this was able to happen? You know how they would, I've already explained how the cartels be linked in with the different family members and associates that migrate to America. They maintain them lines of communication. This shit didn't happen overnight. This happened over decades. So they get their people over here legally for the most part, and the ones that come behind them, most of them illegal. Most of them be members. Like I said, they establish, and a big reason why this shit was able to come to fruition, as far as these migrant gang, being able to have some type of clout in our inner cities, we allowed this shit to happen. Like I had said previously, man.
Now, let me ask you guys this question. I'm going to ask you guys initially, do you guys agree, quote unquote, that we, quote unquote, allowed this to happen? If you guys agree, quote unquote, that we allowed this to happen, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, then give me a thumbs down. And shout out to everybody that's watching. We got 28 people watching. We got 23 likes. If everybody can bang on that like button and get us to 50, that'd be great.
It's known that whether it be Mexico, whether it's Venezuela, Colombia, Puerto Rico, Philippines, them plugs, man. Niggas always looking for the better price, right? If you know, you know. So it used to be.
So now when he say people looking for the better price, quote unquote, if you know, you know, that's true. Shout out to Torian. Shout out to Ms. Nisi. Shout out to End Times. Shout out to RJ. Shout out to Unsunken One. What's good with y'all?
I ain't gonna get too, keep shit simple. But it used to be we go down south to get them packs.
Shout out to packs, Antithesis.
Either be coming from Miami.
So now when he says we be going down south to get these packs, y'all know what he's talking about, right? Now, okay. If you listen to a lot of rap talks about hitting the I-95. How many people have listened to a rap song where the quote-unquote I-95 has been referenced? Why is the I-95 quote-unquote important when it comes to quote-unquote getting them packs, quote-unquote, going down south, quote-unquote? We're going to test everybody's street smarts today. We putting y'all on the spot today. Why is the I-95 key in quote-unquote music and popular vernacular when it comes to quote-unquote going to the south to quote-unquote get them quote-unquote packs? Shout out to Brooklyn Queen, the corridor. Facts. If I'm not mistaken, the I-95 takes you directly from as far north as New York to the port of Miami. You can, in most cases, if you're getting stuff, quote unquote, from a quote unquote plug, in most cases, you have to get it at a port. And when I say port, basically that means port of entry to the country. Now, when you listen to the music and these people are talking about these quote unquote 10 a key prices, that's plug prices. They're getting that from a quote unquote plug. If you listen to a rap song and you hear them talking about the I-95 in a 10 a key, in that song, usually they'll talk about a person who has a name that sounds Latino. That's their plug. Okay. Let's go.
Simple. But it used to be we go down south to get them packs, and them packs, either be coming from Miami. But where you think they come from first? But we all understand that. But so they get over here, like I said, over the course of these last couple decades, the members, they kind of, get a rapport with the black members around the communities, link up.
Now, here go the question. This is the first question. For one, why would you gain rapport with these people or allow these people to gain rapport? And a lot of these people are, quote unquote, they're anti-black. A lot of them come from anti-black areas. We all know about like all of the, Confederates that went to Brazil after the Civil War, a lot of Operation Paperclip, a lot of people from World War II settled in places in South and Central America. And again, this is part of what I'll be talking about on Crimecast when I be saying people don't even know how to quote unquote do crime correctly. Now, I'm gonna say this like this. When it comes to the ways that a lot of people do crime the same way a lot of people do politics. And if you pay very close attention to the quote unquote crime, and if you pay very close attention to the politics, it ain't looking good either direction. So there's a clear cut similar issue with interpersonal skills, if you ask me, where people are lacking on situational awareness. Now, I don't understand like how you can be street smart, but you're not globally street smart. Do that make any sense? Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Brooklyn Queen said, I actually got stopped in Ohio coming from New York City. You was on Interstate 80. you was on I-80. You was on the turnpike, but it's not the turnpike going into New York though. And they called the K9 unit, the whole nine, while my kids were sleeping in the car. Had my butt sitting on the shoulder until they were done. They were ridiculous. Was it the highway patrol or was it the police? Shout out to Torian. Torian said they saw the Black community as easy access since they couldn't get it via PC community. Now, let me ask you a question real quick, Torian. What made them see the Black community, quote unquote, as easy access? The fact that people are willing to do business with them and there's not really any, quote unquote, cultural boundary lines on business, or something else? Because to me, the way that I operate is I'm willing to engage with people who engage with me. Now, I'm willing to reciprocally deal with people who deal reciprocally with me, but I'm also always looking to get a deal, right? So, you know, a lot of these people, they only work internally, right? They only work with each other. But if they see people who are naive, who will take them in and do business with them while not getting business reciprocity, that's a situation that's ripe for the taking. So my question got to be, why are people doing deals with them? There should be a barrier of entry for plugs allowing or for distribution chains allowing plug product. See, now basically what's going to happen now is like a lot of the Black gangs, they're the middleman. Now the Latino gangs will have not only production but distribution. How it used to work was that the Latinos in the plug countries would grow the product, manufacture the product, ship the product, and the Black gangs were what would be called, quote unquote, the mules. They would mule the product, transport the product, sell the product. Now that they have their own people integrated into these communities, they can use their own people for the muling, which means that two things are going to happen. Those groups are going to probably end up fighting Black gangs for turf and area, and the Black gangs are also going to probably fight each other for turf and area as well, and to get in better with the Latino gangs. The way to properly do business, if they had been, you know, advanced, would have been to put barriers on the distribution and safeguarded the distribution and not allow other distribution channels. You have to do business in a defensive and sometimes offensive way. But when you just accept everybody and everybody's cool and you just bobbing and vibing and everything is all good and we're not paying attention to this, next thing you know, somebody took over your enterprise. Somebody bought all the stock. And next thing you know, you got a 49% interest in your own company and somebody else got a 51% interest. And this is what I be talking about on Crimecast about they don't even do crime right. And now we're looking at the effects of they don't even do crime right. Goofy crimes. Not setting up businesses. This is unorganized crime. Unorganized crime can never really compete with organized crime. And it's funny because it seems like they don't understand that, but they're going to be forced to understand that. Lucky, shout out to the world, shout out to circumstance, lucky that I decided to not be a criminal. Because if I was a criminal, I would be like Lex Luthor out here. You know what I'm saying? You got to have some sense of business intelligence to be able to be an effective criminal. Crime and business They go hand in hand. Crime and politics, they go hand in hand. So it's ironic to me that the crime enterprises are falling apart in the same way that the politics are, literally the exact same. And what has to happen is people have to stop not acknowledging the patterns and acknowledge the patterns and say what's going on in both of these situations. People doing crime the same way they do in politics. They had a black and brown. What he's talking about is the black and brown union, black and brown coalition in crime. Now, what's going on? Now they're redistricting. You know what I'm saying? And as usual, because everything is a mathematical equation, on each side of the equal sign, people are now figuring out the hard way that the world is correct.
You know, but they always had a bigger plan, man. See, we always allow, and this shit is not about racism. This shit is about survivalism. We always allow these outside.
Well, racism is about survivalism. See, my brother, if you know about Francis Cress Welsing and all that stuff, then you would know that racism is ineptly about survivalism when it comes, especially to particular people. But this is what I'm saying about doing the crime right. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. This is more what I'm saying. These things are inevitable, and these things can and will happen as predicted, because there's only a small window of things that can and can't happen. And this is one of the reasons why on Crimecast, when I be, man, they're not even doing crime right. What are you doing to launder your money? What are you doing to flip your business into a legitimate business? You're doing dumb stuff. Why are you like just busting at ops for no reason? Why are you not linked up with somebody who has a CPA that can wash your money out the right way? I don't get it. I just don't understand it. Shout out to Torian. Torian says, oh, so now it's our fault. Of course, we are the low-hanging fruit. Who the hell are they going to blame when we aren't here? Our ghosts? Probably. Do you see they actually do blame our ghosts? You know that happens all the time. They love digging up a black person and blaming some stuff on black people. But in this situation here, particularly, I'm strictly talking about the streets. I'm strictly talking about the streets. This stuff right here, as far as how it goes on the street side, all this stuff could have been prevented. All this stuff could have been prevented, because I'm going to ask y'all a question. In the streets, can you go back and look in history and say that there was quote unquote black and brown coalitions in the streets? The quote unquote black and brown coalitions, quote unquote, of the streets is one of the reasons why we have all of this nonsense going on with hip hop and Dr. Cologne and all that nonsense. So politically, we got people saying no black and brown coalition, but the only problem is that historically, there's all of this stuff. Fat Joe. You know what I'm saying? Rappers and criminals also using aliases of mafia and cartel characters. Capone and Noriega. Scarface. Houston, Texas. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is stuff that's documented. And then shout out to my man. This is a good video. It's insightful. But at the same time, though, I wouldn't be surprised if there were people out there who mentioned these kind of things to these people. And what probably happened? Clearly, the advice wasn't taken. You know what I mean? So now what's about to happen is people, now the blackout is about to happen in the criminal world. Criminals are about to get locked out, blocked out. Because when you don't have a plug, right? Because you don't have a plug. You can't call up your Uncle Pablo. You can't call up your Uncle Angel and tell him that, you know what I'm saying, you coming down here, can you hook me up with, you know what I'm saying, some XYZ? You can't do that because we don't have direct links to a plug country. They do. So now you got the distribution and you got the production. So now these gangs in the street, the ones that's traditionally been in the streets, Bloods, Crips, Vice Lords, you know what I'm saying, folks, they finna get priced out. It's finna be a drought out here for all them. How you gonna compete? The other gangs will be able to get higher quality product, more product at a higher frequency, and have a direct line. And not to mention they plugged in the prison gangs. They probably will link up with, La MA or something like that. Let me ask you guys this question. How much planning and evolution contingency plans do y'all think? Do y'all think that these people paid attention to the politics to say, hey, they got a lot of migrants moving in? We might have to do X, Y, Z. Do y'all think that took place? Do you think that there was any type of contingency plan to maintain turf or even to move politically? Now, with other organized crime groups buy politicians. Y'all know the story about Jimmy Hoffa, you know what I'm saying? Even Trump involved with people, you know what I'm saying? Mafia figures. What politicians did any of these people buy? Shout out to KJ. What's good with it? What politicians did any of these people buy? What kind of reinvestment into their business and into their enterprise were they doing? If you watch Sons of Anarchy, the founder of Sons of Anarchy, dude named John Teller, who was Jax's dad, had the vision to flip the illegal 1% motorcycle club into legitimate business. That was the whole point of what they were trying to do. They wanted to get out of the criminal world and get into the legitimate world. That was the whole purpose of the show. In these instances here, my question is, what have people done to try to do that? And I'm asking the question, what have people done? I'm not saying they have or haven't done it. It doesn't seem like they've done it, because if you're in this kind of situation, it seems like a lot of things might have fallen through. But is there a known effort? A lot of people tend to flip money into rap labels and businesses and stuff like that, but somehow they still end up doing the same type of crimes. Once you flip your crime into a legitimate business, you're not supposed to be touching that crime anymore. You're supposed to be far removed from it and just collecting a manila envelope every week. And not even collecting it. Have them leave it somewhere under a bus, under a bus stop or something like that. And you go pick it up at night with a COVID mask on. So ain't no CCTV cameras picking up your face, because AI all over the place, right? So again, my question is, what was done? What kind of future vision was there? What did the OGs put into place for the BGs to have together so that the generation after the BGs wouldn't even have to go into crime? They could go directly into corporate America, if that's the route that they're going to take, because that's the route that everybody took that came here. Everybody came here as part of a criminal enterprise. The white people that came here on a tax evasion scheme. So everybody came. So as much as they talk about these quote unquote opportunities and land of opportunity, all these people come here on some crime type stuff. So where's the organization? That's my question. Now, what's interesting about it is that if you look at the music that's parallel to quote unquote, I guess you would say what, like this lifestyle or like this genre, whatever you would call it, is there any indication in any of the music on how to make a contingency plan to get out of the streets? Is there any detailed blueprint? That's my question for you guys. So what I'm saying is, now all of these circumstances should have been predicted. And again, if you're in the streets and you allegedly get street smart, where is the evidence of the street smarts or the street intelligence? Where's the legitimate business that you're laundering your dirty money with? Where's the politicians that you're buying to be able to keep the police off of you, like Frank Lucas, who was an intelligent gangster, did? Let me ask you guys this question. How many people would agree with me that the political movements mimic the crime movements? If you guys would agree the political movements mimic the crime movements, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Patrick. What's good with it, bro? Shout out to the Geek Surgeon. What's good with you? Shout out to KO Kid Fit. What up with it?
To come take part, whether it be, hip hop, whatever the case may be. They move into our communities where we already be pressed for resources, shit already be hungry. You know what I'm saying? And we embrace them. For the most part, we embrace these foreign, like Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, you name it. Black folks, typically, we embrace these other races because we understand what it is to be on the outside looking in. But see, that shit don't work both ways, man. And I'm just speaking in general. I know it's not the same in every city, but y'all see what's going on in California? You know what I'm saying? You niggas be puffing out y'all chests like y'all the gang mecca. The motherfucking Mexicans is on y'all neck down there, man. So now Chicago and even Cleveland, we've had our issues, but for the most part in Cleveland, as far as the Latin gangs, now MS-13, I don't fuck with them. But like I said, man, it varies from gang to gang. But at the end of the day, they have no allegiance to blacks, man. Yeah, they do business with us. Try to date one of their daughters. You know what I'm saying? That's where you find out how people really feel about you. They find out you're dealing with you know what I'm saying?
Now, check this out, man. Back in the day, I used to want to be, how there's a business consultant type job? I used to want to be a criminal consultant. I used to look at and study criminal processes of certain things. And I wanted to make a business that showed how to do criminal efficiency, quality control, and everything. Run your crime enterprise just like a business. I always wanted to do that. I never did it though, but I always wanted to do it. And the reason why I didn't do it is because when you get wrapped up and you deal with, I can't guarantee that everybody on that side of things would be as rational or as forthcoming as me. And I don't like dealing with irrationality because I like to have some element of control over what I'm doing, and things can get out of control and that type of element real quick. Sometimes I sit back and I look and I watch and I'll be like, I wish I had done it. I wish I had done it. A lot of this stuff is common sense. Now, I want you to pay attention to what this dude said. They didn't know that these people didn't like black people until, they start messing around with some females. You didn't know no historical background about any of these places, any of these people. Like, you didn't know what you were dealing with. Kind of not really a good idea to mix family and business anyway. That if you're dealing with people and you start messing around with, like that's kind of like, messing around with somebody at work. You kind of eating where you crap at. Not good business practice. You don't mix business and pleasure. Sex is definitely pleasure. You're mixing business and pleasure. If there was any type of standard or professionalism or boundaries on what can versus can't be done, some type of quote unquote code, then a lot of this stuff would probably be self-correcting. But when I look at a lot of criminals or when I look at a lot of people in this type of life and I listen to the stuff that they say, I wonder where the term street smart comes from, because like a lot of the streets just ain't smart. A lot of the streets just ain't smart. A lot of this stuff is just comments, like certain stuff. I just, saying like, wow, really? Like, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I would necessarily deal with somebody who's close to the plug, who has intricate details of my life and inside of my house, and they might know where my safe is or something like that. Like, me personally, I'm just not going to move like that. I don't like that element of risk exposure. Again, one of the reasons why I wanted to be a quote unquote risk manager. for quote, and I wouldn't call it a criminal risk management place because, of course, the police would be up and through there all the time. It would be called a quote unquote high risk management consultation. You know what I'm saying? A high risk management consultation. And a lot of this stuff is common sense. You know what I mean? And I just don't get it. It just, to me, like, it doesn't make any sense. I don't understand.
And I'm just speaking in general. I know it's not the same in every city, but y'all see what's going on in California? You know what I'm saying? You niggas be puffing out y'all chests like y'all the gang mecca. The motherfucking Mexicans is on your neck down there, man. So now Chicago and even Cleveland, we've had our issues, but for the most part, in Cleveland, you know, as far
I knew he was from Cleveland. Didn't I tell y'all that in the beginning? I knew he was from Cleveland. Shout out to this brother, man. Peace to the 216. I knew he was from Cleveland. Homeboy looked like a Cleveland dude, sound like a Cleveland dude. 216 in the name. I knew it.
As the Latin gangs. Now MS-13, I don't fuck with them. But like I said, man, it varies from gang to gang. But at the end of the day, they have no allegiance to blacks, man. Yeah, they do business with us. Try to date one of their daughters. You know what I'm saying? That's where you find out how people really feel about you. They find out you're dealing with you know what I'm saying? So, you know, yeah, they will sit down at the table when money is greed. That's how this shit happened. Greed. Like I said, looking for the better plug, looking for the better. No allegiance in these streets, man.
Now, let me ask you guys again. Is this how the moves have been done politically? Shout out to Dwayne. What's good with it, bro? I appreciate the kind words. See, man, listen, like I said, people should be lucky. People should be happy. People should really wake up, and whoever you believe in, you should really wake up and really, one of the first things that you should do is be like, thank goodness Rob chose to live a legal life. Thank goodness Rob chose to be a law-abiding citizen. Because I'm telling you, I would be one of the worst. Like, they would make movies about me. They would make movies about me. I got all, like, man, listen, I'm trying to tell you. But I have no desire to do that. Some of the stuff that I see these people do, like, it just, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it.
But I don't know what I expect, because niggas, we ain't got no allegiance to each other. You know what I'm saying? So why the fuck these other gangs, these other races, you know, why would they have, you know, any qualms about bucking up? But see, like I said, they waited until they fully infiltrated. And now that they, you know, they got the links, like I said, they got family here. So once they in here,
here. I would actually like to interview this brother if I could, because see, he's staying in Cleveland, clearly. And I don't really know. I don't be in Cleveland all like that. I don't know if he down the way or up the way or where, what part of Cleveland he's in. But what I would ask him is, because, like, I know on the west side is a lot of Latinos. It's been Puerto Ricans on the west side forever. So I don't know what's going on with no migrant influx in Cleveland, but I do know that Cleveland is a sanctuary city. Shout out to Mello. Mello says, I came across this dude's channel recently. I know he claimed to be black when he clearly isn't black. This dude looked just like these two dudes that went to my high school. As a matter of fact, I thought it was one of them, and they both black. And this dude is from Cleveland. It's a lot of mixed and really, really light-skinned, racially ambiguous, or people with, like, lighter gray texture hair in Cleveland, Ohio, especially, like Busy Bone. I mean, this dude looked like a fifth, sixth member of Bone Thugs and Harmony. But we all on the now we on the, they ain't like us. So now, you know what I'm saying, anybody that looks like slightly not exactly like how every single black person look, you know what I'm saying, it's questionable if they black or not. I'm from Cleveland. My whole family is from Cleveland. This dude literally looked like somebody that could be part of my family. Like, this dude looked like he could be like my uncle, my nephew, my brother. You know what I'm saying? He looked just like one of us. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, that's what it is. And I'm listening to his voice. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude named Escano. Like, again, I'm from Cleveland, but okay, you know what I'm saying? That's the YouTube line between reality and YouTube. You know what I'm saying?
So and they maintain that line of communication with the gang leaders.
Shout out to my man AB. My man AB said it's the perpetual 50. Make sure y'all hashtag 50 and put it in the chat. Hashtag 50. We at that perpetual 50. If y'all haven't hit the like button yet, take a moment, hit the like button. If you have, throw some like enforcers in the chat.
This is the hardest record out.
Yeah. That perpetual 50. Shout out to Cameron. What's good with it, bro?
Cartels on the other side, they get them packs over here, you know. So once they took over their little sections, you know, they get over here, congregate in their sections. Niggas ain't
facts. Shout out to Rick Guillory, Cleveland headquarters, Bone Thugs and Harmony, light skin, ambiguous dudes. Facts. Cleveland. Shout out to Bronze of God. I had sent Bronze of God a video of Cleveland's mayor. They got like them, like the Creole looking people that they got like in Louisiana. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people like that in the land. You know what I'm saying? But if you know about Ohio and you know about the history of Ohio and you know why all the counties is named what they named after in Ohio, a lot of that leads to why a lot of us look like how we do. You know what I'm saying? But that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day, a whole nother stream, and a whole nother dream. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, where I'm from, you at your own risk if you fucking around in certain sections. As far as Latinos, Mexicans, woo woo. But so they got the plug. Now what? Well, they need to expand because the clientele, I mean, they got whole cities out there. So that's where the war is about to, that's where the beefing about to start, man. It was all good. Now they need to expand their clientele. Like I said, they taking over these communities, taking over projects, you know. Now that's the
and then we see the TREN DE ARAGUA thing that's going on. So now I want to ask y'all this question. What do y'all think that it is that's quote unquote causing that's causing the conflicts? Because for one, you got it's the anti-black hostilities, right? There's that. But I'm talking about the element of business. What is the specific element of business that's causing the issues? Because it's business conflicts and business issues, transactional issues, distribution issues. Those will be the breaking points that cause these quote unquote turf wars. Now, this is a criminal rendition of what Dr. Claude Anderson said when Dr. Claude Anderson said black people can't be fighting against all these other groups. Would you guys agree? This is the playing out of that. This is the playing out of that, but on the street side. And again, the streets mirrors legit life.
The extreme, but like I said, in Denver, that shit already has happened. And it's wars going on in different cities across America. And like I said, Cleveland included, although for the most part, like I said, ain't shit really popping with that in Cleveland.
See, and then there you go. So again, this also validates that I know what I'm talking about, where I'm at, because like I said, this really don't be going on all like that here, even though it could at any moment, because Cleveland is a sanctuary city, but it just don't be going down here. Because like I said before, when we had talked about Cleveland, I think it was Torian that I asked, you know, Cleveland is a sanctuary city. Bro, ain't nobody coming to Cleveland. Ain't nobody coming to Cleveland, bro. We could be a sanctuary city all we want to, man. As picky as the migrants here, ain't nobody coming to Cleveland, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's like having a choice of going to a 5-star hotel or going to one of them Roach meth hotels. You're going to be like, they both free, so I'm going to go to the 5-star. Why would I go to the Roach meth hotel? Because that's what Cleveland is. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody coming to Cleveland. Ain't nobody coming to Cleveland until everywhere else is literally full and at capacity and they ain't got no place else where they can go. Then they'll come to Cleveland. But until that, they're not coming to Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? And again, this brother right here, shout out to him, substantiate what I had said and what I be saying about Cleveland. You know what I'm saying?
They get over here, congregate in their sections.
Not just Cleveland, but Northeast Ohio in general, because the whole Northeast Ohio in general is not Cleveland. So there's that too. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Niggas ain't really, I mean, where I'm from, you at your own risk if you fucking around in certain sections. As far as Latinos, Mexicans, woo woo.
Now, when he say where you at in your own risk, if you from where he from, he got to be talking about like on the west side. He got to be talking about like Ohio City, Tremont, Parma, Brook Park, Lorraine, Elyria. He got to be. I'm assuming, and I'm pretty sure that's what he's talking about. Because basically, the east side and the east suburbs is black people, and the west side and the west suburbs, for the most part, is white people and Latinos. Latinos and the highest concentration Puerto Ricans. You know what I'm saying? So that right there is probably what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying?
But so they got the plug. Now what? Well, they need to expand because the clientele, I mean, they got whole cities out there. So that's where the war is about to, that's where the beefing about to start, man. It was all good. Now they need to expand their clientele. Like I said, they taking over these communities, taking over projects. You know, now that's the extreme. But like I said, in Denver, that shit already has happened. And there's wars going on in different cities across America. And like I said, Cleveland included. Although for the most part, like I said, ain't shit really popping with that in Cleveland. But so you got No Limit Cairo just got knocked, you know, with a switch. And obviously the word on the street is he out looking for them Venezuelan members, you know what I'm saying, that stepped on homie. And
now I don't even know about none of this right here. The No Limit Cairo and Venezuelans as some I don't know nothing about this. Do any of y'all know anything about this? I don't know who these people are. I don't know nothing about that. You know what I'm saying?
Like I said, the shit about to be up, man. It's up now. And it's gonna be stuck up. If it ever was a time for you niggas to stop killing each other, for gangs to just unite, and it's been so much talk over the years. I mean, even within our own set, because like I said, man, all Crips don't get along. You know, it's different sets.
Oh, okay, so he must be like on the gangbanging side. He must be a Crip. Okay, so yeah, I don't know none about nobody or no events or none of this stuff that he talking about. This is a disclaimer. I have no idea what this dude is talking about. Shout out to him. Great video. You know what I'm saying? I don't know any of the people that he's discussing in the video. The only thing that I know about as far as this video is being discussed in terms of topics only. You know what I'm saying? In terms of topics only. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Carlton. What's good with it?
It's like Wolf Street, Grape Street, Hoover, and we sometimes it's beef with other members of the same gang, man, on different sets. And the shit get complicated, man. And like I said, being that we don't have the structure, and that's
okay.
crazy. That
all right, shout out to KJ. So KJ, you talking about some stuff that went on in Chi in Chicago? Okay. Shout out to Mello. Mello said, "Yeah, I know about that. The migrants deleted one of Cairo's mans, and Cairo tried to get some get back and got caught in the process." Oh, okay, wow, yeah. See, I ain't know nothing about that. Shout out to you, appreciate it. Okay, shout out to J. Shout out to J. Lock. J. Lock said he's right. He's right. It was. I'm in Chicago. Okay, bet. Yeah. And speaking of which, I got an article from the Chicago Tribune because I'm sure a lot of people know. See, like here go the thing, right? Check this out, and I want y'all to understand what's going on. When it comes to these migrants and these migrants gangs, they moving different than just any other gang. They getting bankrolled by the government through the migrant programs. You know what I'm saying? And on top of it, they got their side hustle doing their dirt. So they got two sources of income. You know what I'm saying? They got two sources of income, and they got the sanctuary city protection that these other gang members, you know what I'm saying, the Black American gang members don't have. You don't have no sanctuary city protection. America's never been a sanctuary for Black people. It never will be. So that makes it extremely difficult in a beef or going to war with people like that, especially in the street on some street stuff. When it's the Wild Wild West, when they can do something and they're going to get released the next day right back into their shelter or wherever they at. And you know what I'm saying? You got the consequences of dealing with having to possibly go to jail and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? That's a wild situation. You know what I mean?
Fuckers come from over there and they more structured than us in our shit. You know what I'm saying? But they understand that's the only way they're gonna survive. That's the only way.
Now, again, I want to ask you guys a question. Would y'all agree with what he's saying? If y'all agree with what he's saying, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree with what he's saying, then give me a thumbs down. And shout out to everybody that's watching. I appreciate you guys. If you all haven't smashed the like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, take a moment, hit that bell. And also, please share the stream to your social media. We got 68 people in here watching. I appreciate y'all. And we got 58 likes. If everybody could bang on that like button and try to get us to 120 likes, that would be wonderful.
each other, for gangs to just unite. And it's been so much talk over the years. I mean, even within our own set, because like I said, man, all Crips don't get along. You know, it's different sets like Wolf Street, Grape Street, Hoover, and we sometimes it's beef with other members of the same gang, man.
Now, one thing that is interesting about this, right? I don't know if anybody knows how the other gangs operate, but when it comes to the other gangs, especially like Latino gangs, especially like Mexican gangs, those gangs may be separate sets, but they're all loosely associated with La M, the Mexican mafia, and they all operate with the Mexican mafia, the prison gang, as the central base of organization. And this is what I'm talking about the difference between organized crime versus unorganized crime. This is the difference between organized politics and unorganized politics. If you will look at the crime and the crime failures, and you will see the same failures and deficiencies that you see in non-criminal life when it comes to political organization, and that's because the organization is non-existent. So we have to ask the question, at what point do people, regardless of what side of the fence you fall on, plan on making some form of an attempt to organize? That's my question for this dude, for, you know what I'm saying, people that's voting, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit easier for us, you know what I'm saying? You know, we got the hashtag couch 2025 or hashtag couch 2024 thing. I don't think these guys can do hashtag no keys this year. I don't think they can do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they can do hashtag no plug. I don't think they can do that. No plug, no sales. That's what they facing already. That's why they in an uproar. You know what I'm saying?
And on different sets. And the shit get complicated, man. And like I said, being that we don't have the structure that, and that's crazy that these motherfuckers come from over there and they more structured than us in our shit. You know what I'm saying? But they understand that's the only way they're going to survive. That's the only way.
So now let me ask you guys again. I'm going to ask the question. Would y'all agree with that statement that he just made? If you guys agree with that statement, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree with that statement, give me a thumbs down. And we're not going to continue any further until Carlton drops his opinions. No, I'm just playing. Hit the button for Carlton.
It's beef with other members of the same gang, man, on different sets. And the shit get complicated, man. And like I said, being that we don't have the structure that, and that's crazy that these motherfuckers come from over there and they more structured than us in our shit. You know what I'm saying? But they understand that's the only way they're going to survive. That's the only way. So they own that shit. So like I said, man, Chicago about to be turned the fuck up. You niggas better stop worrying about, you know what I'm saying, 63rd and 61st, BDGD, fuck all that. Philly, you niggas too. You know what I'm saying? Coming to a city near you, man. I'm telling you, a lot of niggas is just sleep on this shit. A lot of you niggas is doing business with these motherfuckers. And I understand, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and again, see, shout out to him for bringing up the point of doing business. This is why I be talking about value chains. Now, look, check this out, man. Again, this is why I be asking. The migrants come to the United States and have a huge and extensive value chain. They come here with a value chain, and then you become a part of their value chain without getting any value back from their value chain. And again, like I said, the criminal element shows another element of the alleged quote unquote black and brown coalition. Now, let me, if people would read the newspaper, pay attention to politics, know exactly what was going on. Now, you know, if a lot of these people flip their business into legitimate business, they could have the business, you know what I'm saying, bring certain political speakers in there. The political speakers could educate those people, and they could use the businesses to try to cut down on immigration, right, through political assembly, right, and try to make it so that, you know, you're kind of using methods to block some of those people out so that there's a manageable population so that you can still have all of the power, determining prices and having bargaining power and different things like that. But again, the decision to not be strategic and the decision to not organize. If you flipped your proceeds from criminality into a legitimate business, with that legitimate business, you then bring in speakers and have continuing education on, you know, political rallies. Say, for instance, you want some type of political policies, you know what I'm saying, that cut down on immigration, and you push that at work as part of continuing education to indoctrinate those people at your job so that those people who are not felons, who are working a legitimate job because they don't know what's going on behind the scenes, you created a population of people at your company that are going to contribute to a particular voting block. That will also continue to make good policy for your business so that your business is prosperous, and for your dark enterprise, right? So that you have less of people from the plug company coming over. Strategic moves, and you build these things over time. Franchise your company, get your company nationwide, get out of the drug stuff, get out of the drug game once you're able to, you know what I'm saying, get out of it. But again, there's no forward thinking. Or is there? And if there is, where is it? Because the thing is that, you know, just because somebody doesn't materialize something doesn't mean that somebody never thought of it. See, I might never do any of the aspirations and things that I want to do, but somebody can look and watch my YouTube channel and my videos and say, this dude has some pretty innovative, interesting ideas. So it's on record. Yeah, somebody was thinking about this stuff. My question is, where's the record that anybody was thinking about that around them parts over there? That's my question.
Like I said, man, we already know what them plugs. I don't care if you're getting it from New York, if you're getting it from down south. The plugs is, you know what I'm saying? Them immigrants at the end of the day. So they kind of got a stranglehold.
There it is right there. Again, he legit is validating stuff that I said today, stuff that I've been saying. He's validating stuff that I've been saying. So again, like one of the questions that I'd be asking about people on YouTube is like, everybody's so tough on YouTube. Everybody always want to be fighting on YouTube, and a lot of people be just saying wild stuff on YouTube. Where's the people that understand this kind of language to be able to talk about this kind of stuff fluently? Or where's the history of legitimate street stuff in their content being backed up by something that a legitimate street dude be saying? Where is that? That's why you got to be careful with like fake people and phony actors on YouTube. I knew off rip this dude just from how he looked, how he talked, his name. I knew off rip he was from Cleveland. Shout out to him. You know what I'm saying? But you don't really come across that very often where it's people on YouTube like just identifying people from locality like that. Like it's just weird to me. Like if everybody, like I always say, if people believe what they say they believe, or you know what I'm saying, people got faith in themselves or whatever, you should see consistent and repetitive validations of this stuff coming out through their content, and the validations and repetitiveness and consistency is just not there. You know what I mean?
We're on the dope game, you know, so niggas kind of like, it's like a reluctant partnership. But now that what they want to do is just eradicate niggas from the dope game. Like you could be a middleman, a courier, but as far as, you know what I'm saying?
You just said what I said again. And even the middleman courier job's finna be gone. Those about to be gone. You know what I'm saying? But don't take my word for it.
They want to take control of
now check this out, right? This is part of the job elimination that's not calculated as far as migrant impacts on jobs. This ain't calculated because they don't calculate criminal enterprise, or they don't calculate criminal element, or criminal labor is not calculated as far as jobs. But what you're looking at right now, this is outsourcing. This is outsourcing and reorganization. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to J-Lock. J-Lock says CSP be covering this topic about migrants in Chicago. Oh, I didn't know that, bro. I cover the migrant crisis too. You know what I'm saying? Not just in Chicago. I cover it all over. You know what I'm saying?
That shit. So the inner cities, everything. And that's what's going on right now. So like I said before, man, we do not have the luxury of this. This is not 1970, we never had the luxury in this country. For real.
So again, like my question is, what What are people's thoughts on this? Because I think that this is a really interesting, introspective, insightful video. I don't agree with everything that he says, but a lot of the stuff that he's saying is legit, and I do agree with a lot of it. And again, one thing that I don't think that anybody can agree with is that this mirrors politics. How many people disagree? If you do not feel that this mirrors politics, then let me know in the chat.
Never for one brief moment, maybe in the 60s, early 70s, it looked like black folks could take a deep breath and kind of like realize what real life can act, and then that shit was over. So not only, you know, you got to worry about the system being on your neck, we got our own people on our neck, and now we got these immigrants coming over here trying to get on our neck too. That shit ain't gonna play out well for y'all. But these inner cities and these streets about to get bloody, like I said before. Ain't no way around it. It is what it is. It's about to be a full-blown battle for the drug gang in damn near every city in America.
Honestly, for real, it's not even about to be a battle. They already won. They already won before any of this even happened. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why they won before this already happened is because, again, they are the plug countries. Any of the products necessary for manufacturing those high-end drugs, a lot of them opiate-based ones, grow naturally in those countries in Mexico, South America, and Central America. So you're going to always have to deal with somebody from there in order to sell or distribute that stuff. Now, if you're talking about some chemical stuff, you know what I'm saying, that you can manufacture here, you know what I'm saying, with some Sudafed or whatever like that, you know what I'm saying? Again, these are things that don't have to be grown, so there's no natural habitat that's necessary. But the natural habitat of those areas where the migrants come from is what's necessary to be able to grow that stuff in large volume. A lot of people are growing marijuana now, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, you can grow it, but you're not going to be able to grow it in no quantities where you just can sell bales all over the place like that. You might be able to get off a couple twomps here and there. You know what I'm saying? You might be able to get off a couple zips here and there, but you're not about to be getting off no bales and bricks all like that. And you don't even really know what the quality going to be. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times the electric company can tell on you, because if you're using a certain amount of wattage in your house, you know what I'm saying, they're going to run that report and send that to the police, or either send it to the DEA. So there's that. So as far as getting quote unquote plug prices, there's a reason why when it comes to hip hop, they always talking about the I-95. When they talking about the I-95, it's not to go get on the Fresh and Fit podcast. You know what I'm saying? So now shout out to this dude, because he did another video, and it's called Colorado is the New Venezuela. All right. Now, again, I've been to Colorado before, and Colorado, just like anywhere else, you know what I'm saying, anywhere else in the Midwest, whatever, you know what I'm saying. Now, I think Colorado is considered like, I don't know, either the West or like I don't know if it's the Pacific Northwest. I don't know what region they consider it, but for the most part, anywhere that's interior United States, they all look the same. If somebody dropped you off in Detroit with a blindfold on, St. Louis, Denver, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, you know what I'm saying? Where else? Syracuse, New York, Rochester, New York. If somebody dropped you off in any of them places with a blindfold on, and you took the blindfold off, you wouldn't know where you was at. Same, they all look the exact same. You would think that you was in your home city, and you 2-3 straight states away. You know what I'm saying? So why am I saying that? I'm saying that because the way that Denver just one day was under siege, it could be anywhere. It could happen anywhere. And these things affect people in different ways. You got these, the people in the streets that's doing their street thing, sitting up here sounding like, you know what I'm saying, people that be on Fox News. It'd just be a matter of time before, you know what I'm saying, somebody on Fox could holler at this dude and, you know what I'm saying, ask him to talk some questions about the migrant crisis. Because everybody, for the most part, is going to say the same thing about the migrant crisis. The only people that's not going to say the same thing about the migrant crisis is the politicians, which even the politicians have a small window of variance that they can talk about the migrant crisis in, because everything is so out there now that, as you can see, even Kamala Harris changed her position, and she's sitting up there talking about building a wall. after letting all these people in. You know what I'm saying? So my question again for everybody is, what is the root cause problem of this issue? Why does this resemble politics? Shout out to DJ Elmo. There's a common element there somewhere. Something is common. Something is in common with this, that this sounds so much like politics. Because it does. I mean, we you know what I'm saying? I don't usually react to, like the vlogger. I don't want to disrespect this dude, whatever genre of YouTube you would call this, that like the street talk or whatever. I don't usually react to this. I talk about the news. But guess what, though? This sounds just like the news. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, what's good? It's Kano. Let me start off by saying I do not promote gang culture. I do have a gang affiliation. I have a history, a past, like a lot of people have. But this channel is not devoted to promoting in any form or fashion gang culture. I just have an insight on it, firsthand experience. So I speak on certain topics. I do have passion when it comes to certain topics. So that being said, what I said about the villains, I stand on it. I'm not backtracking off that. I consider them invaders. I do not promote gang violence, but I do promote protecting our communities. And that is going to bring me, to the point of this video. Now, before I get to that, you won't hear shit from Cali about this situation. Y'all heard what's going on in Chicago, right? So these Venezuelans that took over apartment complex.
Shout out to Patrick. I just, hold on real quick, Patrick. I got you. Give me 1 second. My bad. Caught me off guard. All right. Shout out to Patrick, man. Make sure y'all show him some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for Patrick for funding the organization.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Cash rules everything around me. Queen, get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
Man, my computer doing that weird stuff that it was doing yesterday where I can't see some of the drops. So if I cut off that Cash Rules Everything Around Me and that Bone Thugs and Harmony drop, my bad. Hold on, I'm gonna try to run it again real quick.
Cash rules everything around me. Queen, get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
There goes Lazy Bone, another racially ambiguous Cleveland dude. Anyway, shout out to Patrick Tyler. Patrick said, I want to know where all these 10 million at. That's a great question. That's a great question. You know what? 10 million would be a nice target for likes. We getting there. You know what I'm saying? We getting there. If y'all haven't hit the like button yet, do me a favor, take a moment, hit that like button. If y'all haven't subscribed to the channel, take a moment, subscribe to the channel. We got the 1-to-1 ratio popping off right now. We got 70 and 70. So make sure y'all throw some hundreds in the chat. Y'all killing it. Shout out to Deneen. What's good with it, Deneen?
I think that was the west side. Ain't that the heart of BDGD territory? Woo-woo. So they done took over apartment complex in Chicago now. Y'all still think it's cat? I do not come on here to try to...
Wait, hold on. I didn't hear none of that. I didn't know nothing about no apartment complex in Chicago getting taken over. Y'all heard about a migrant apartment complex getting taken over? I'm about to play this and look for it real quick.
All right. So these Venezuelans that took over apartment complex, I think that was the west side. Ain't that the heart of BDGD territory? Woo-woo. So they done took over apartment complex in Chicago now. Y'all still think it's cat? I do not come on here to try to sensationalize shit, or that's not what I'm about. So if I come on here with something, it's A1 Yoda. This is not just going to be relegated to the hood for long. So civilians, and when I say civilian, I do not use that term as a put down. Civilians kind of, poo-poo this away. It doesn't affect you until it shows up at your front door. Because make no mistakes, this shit is going to matriculate to the suburbs Act Chicago. It's happening in Cleveland too. I had somebody contact me and say Bedford Heights, a suburb of Cleveland. Now,
shout out to Bedford Heights. Used to live there. Shout out to the 440. I didn't know they had no migrants in Bedford. What the hell are they doing in Bedford?
Chicago. It's happening in Cleveland too.
When he's saying Chicago, is he accidentally saying Chicago and it means Colorado?
Somebody contact me and say Bedford Heights, a suburb of Cleveland. Now they are dealing with immigrant members.
What, in Bedford? Yo, that's crazy. Shout out, yo, anybody, is it anybody from the land in here? If it's anybody from Cleveland in here, give me a 216 in the comment section, because I know it's a couple y'all from Cleveland in the building. I gotta investigate this.
Moving into black communities, you know.
Now check
like
this
I
out,
said,
right? Check this out.
Now
shop. See how he said the black communities. Now Bedford Heights is not technically a black community. There's a lot of black people there, but it's not a black community. But there is a bigger area that's part of the Bedford district that's called Oakwood Village, and Oakwood Village is a pretty good, like I was saying, like middle class black community. You know what I'm saying? I'm curious if that's where the migrants is at. That's crazy. Shout out to We Came Before Any Immigrants. We Came Before Any Immigrants said, are the black folks people sets in the Midwest getting on code to do something about the Venezuelans? I'm from Detroit. I'm out here in California. I don't know what people in sets are doing, because I don't, this brother right here, and I only have seen him online. That's the only person from sets that I deal with. I don't deal with no people that is involved with sets, because I got issues with criminals. And one of the issues that I got with criminals is that they don't do things in a way that I think makes sense or is value added. So I don't tend to deal with people that don't move like that. You know what I'm saying? Which is why this guy made this video, because he's noticing that same thing. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't tell you what the sets is doing. You know what I'm saying?
Powering up and trying to, you know what I'm saying, house shit. So this is not, you know, this is not going to be a local issue for long, but you know, you will not hear a peep from Cali. You won't hear a peep from Texas, Arizona, Nevada, Florida.
Oh, okay. Shout out to
these niggas.
Shout out to Tedrick. You said your brother stay in Maple Heights. Yeah, Maple Heights Maple Heights border Bedford Heights, and Maple Heights and Bedford Heights border Warrensville Heights. I used to stay in Warrensville too. Maple Heights is the Mustangs. They used to be part of the Greater Cleveland Conference. I don't know. I think they changed up the conferences a little bit. I don't think they in the same conference no more. But he didn't go to school in Maple Heights, did he? And real quick, shout out to everybody that's watching. I appreciate y'all. If y'all haven't hit that bell, take a moment, hit that bell. Also, please take a moment, share the stream to your social media. I'm gonna have to do some investigation. I'm about to go down the way. I'm about to go down the way. I'm about to go up the way. Shout out to Skano. I don't know. He probably ain't never gonna watch this video. You know what I'm saying? But if he do, if you ever would be willing to, you know, come on the show for an interview and just talk to my audience about what you see going on, especially, you know, from a Northeast Ohio perspective, you always welcome. Just putting that out there. You know what I'm saying?
Those black gangs in them states are already under cartel control. I got people that drop in the comments, and I understand y'all don't know what y'all don't know. Saying we don't have.
Shout out to Patrick Tyler. Patrick Tyler says might be hard to carry in open states. Yeah, that's facts. If y'all agree with Patrick, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree with Patrick, give me a thumbs down. And shout out to you, bro, for the ducats.
Silence. I ain't got no money, pa.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Get the money, y'all. There's poor people around. I'm rich, biatch.
Cash rules everything around me. Queen, get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
Facts. Shout out to Reparations Nation. Facts. Folks have to have the balls to use those self-defense tools. Big facts. It's a lot easier to just say, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do XYZ, until you act like, to me, it's not real smart or real strategic for people to have not been in a situation and assume that they're capable of doing something that actually takes capability and mental fortitude to be able to do. And I'm not saying that like being derogatory towards anybody. What I'm saying is that a lot of times when it comes to a situation like that, a lot of times people get stuck. Oh, okay, I thought so. So he just mixing up his words. Then I thought so. I'm like, is he mixing up Colorado and Chicago? I figured that's what he was doing. I figured that. Oh, okay, shout out to Tedra. Tedra said my nephew and nieces grew up in Cleveland. Okay, all right, yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, Maple Heights border Cleveland. That's what they consider an east suburb. You know what I'm saying?
I have that problem in Florida because we don't have that problem in Texas. Woo woo. Yeah, because them states are already cartel controlled. Protocol has already been established there. So make no mistakes. The biggest big dog in them states is working for the cartel, if they ain't working for the feds. But that's a whole nother issue. But it's cartel control. So it's not going to be a lot of it's not going to be a lot of dust kicked up in places like Cali. Like I said, you ain't heard shit from the Cali niggas, have you? But they having their issues with the Mexicans. The Mexicans already done got them niggas. You know what I'm saying? They got you Cali niggas. And I'm talking to the members. The members. They got you niggas in order. So the Midwest pretty much still wide open. Pause. It's places like Chicago, Detroit.
He said the Midwest still wide open. Pause.
Ohio. You know what I'm saying? Not to say there's no cartel presence, especially in Cleveland, but it's not cartel controlled. It's still freelance. You know what I'm saying? It's still wide open. But they are looking to change that. And that's what the conflict is. They trying to establish protocol in these cities on the Midwest also. That's why you ain't here.
And see, so the thing is, and again, like, shout out to this dude right here for having some insight and forward thinking. Now that this has been, see, like, the thing is, once somebody puts something like this out here, once this problem has been recognized, once people understand that, and once people get it, the point where you acknowledge that there's a problem incoming, you have now alleviated all viable excuses, and now it's solely on you to solve or mitigate the problem. So now that this is widely known, the video has gone viral, people know about it. My question is, what are people planning on doing about it? And again, this situation here mirrors the political situation. So again, there must be something in common with both situations that led people to this point. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, then give me a thumbs down. It's got to be something similar with the way that people conduct business that has got them to the same point in two opposite areas of transaction. So there is a root problem that needs to be weeded out and figured out, addressed and corrected. But you have people that will not even acknowledge that there must be some type of common problem, despite the fact that all data says that there has to be. So understand that also moving like that, conducting yourself like that, could also be a contribution to late recognition of problems that need to be mitigated early. You know what I'm saying? So the world is correct. How many people agree? The world is correct. There should be no surprises here. Should be no surprises here. Should be none. This literally should just be, oh, well, this is happening. You know what I'm saying? And it's happening. No one should be surprised. Because this is literally everything that has led up to this is what would lead up to it. You know what I mean?
Hearing shit from Cali. But the main point of this video, the black gangs, we failed the black community. Gangs were original.
Hashtag don't even do crime right. If I'm not mistaken, I think CRIP is an acronym. It actually used to mean like community reinvestment program or something like that. And it was some type of organization that was meant to rebuild and protect the communities that they began with on the west on the West Coast. And something changed or happened along the lines, and things kind of went in a different direction. I think that's a historical fact. You know what I'm saying? So how'd that happen? You know what I'm saying? Was that COINTELPRO or what, you know what I'm saying? What went on there? And the thing that's interesting about that is, you know, like you don't really hear too much of that when people talk about these things. You know, all of the young rappers, the dudes that wear all the magenta bubblegum pink colors and got all the multicolor mambo flavored you know, mambo colored dreadlocks and all that weirdness. They really, when they bang in the rags and all that, they don't really talk about like the significant history of how like a lot of these things started, which is very different than where they ended up. And I'm just curious as to why they don't bump their chest about that. You know what I'm saying? Now, the Venezuelan crisis, allegedly there was rumors that the Hells Angels was finna go to the apartment complexes out there and confront the people, the Venezuelan gangs. Now they'll sit there and say that, you know, Hells Angels is a quote unquote a legitimate motorcycle club, but they wear the 1% diamond, which if you wear the 1% diamond, anybody that knows, back, I believe in the 1960s, the American Motorcycle Club had a meeting. And in that meeting, they said 1% of motorcycle organizations commit crimes. So the ones that do commit crime took that moniker and started wearing a 1% diamond on their patch to show that they are part of that 1% of quote unquote outsiders that commit crime or live quote unquote outside of the system. You know what I'm saying? Now, my question for you guys is this. Skano, he says that quote unquote gangs quote unquote failed the black community. I don't know what that means. I would have to ask him in an interview. Could you elaborate on that further? Shout out to Jay. Jay got the acronym for the Crips, Community Resources for Independent People. Very different from what they're doing now, right? But my question would be, was there ever a mission and a vision for what these quote unquote organizations at their inception? Was there ever a mission and a vision statement for what the expectation was that they had planned on doing? What was the mission and vision statement? So when Community Resources for Independent People was first established, whenever it was established, what was the mission of that organization, and what was the vision of that organization? And my question is, where they are today, how far are they from the original mission and vision? Because to me, if you track, like, if you track the progress of an organization, the organization success or progress can be tracked based on where that organization is at the current moment in time in relationship to their mission and vision. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. So in order for me to know if these quote unquote organizations that have become quote unquote gangs have quote unquote failed the black community, I would first need to see if the black community quote unquote was even a part of their mission or vision statement. For me, for my purposes, for what I would consider quote unquote success versus failure. If those criterias are fair, give me a thumbs up. If that's unfair and you don't agree, then give me a thumbs down. Let me know why you don't agree.
The black gangs, we failed the black community. Gangs were originally established for the complete opposite of what purpose they serve in the present day.
So I guess by that standard, he would be right. Right?
Which is, obviously to, raise hell, destroy, and, kill each other. But originally, gangs were created to protect the black community from outsiders, invaders that would do harm. That's what gangs were created for. Do your research. So I got people talking about, do y'all not understand this whole country was built on gang culture before it was fully established, especially in New York. New York was the mecca of gangs.
Yep, I was just about to say, anybody that doesn't believe what he's saying, go watch that movie, The Gangs of New York.
You had Irish gangs, Polish gangs, British gangs. This country is built on gang culture, mafia.
Shout out to Deneen. Deneen said, "You're talking my language. I help organizations stay aligned with their mission, vision, and values." Facts. That's staying aligned with your mission, vision, and values are a key indicator to the probabilities of success of your organization. Those are probabilities of success of your organization. You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to be innovative. You have to be able to turn, you know what I'm saying, and be able to make quick adjustments. You have to be able to constantly be in a state of doing SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And this is what I'm saying. Crime is literally business. It is business. And what I'm saying is that there's a business deficit. People don't do business right. People don't do crime right. How many, like, if there was somebody that was constantly doing market research, looking at the changing demographics and population, people could have mitigated these risks. You notice that you got more clients named Jose these days. Well, what's going on in the population? I need to figure out what happened to the Michaels and what happened to the Johns. We got a lot of Jose's, and you know what I'm saying? We got a lot of Romeos and stuff like that, names like that. What's going on with the demographics? The names are switching. Let's research this and check and find out. That's called market research. If you're selling a product, you should constantly be doing market research. But they don't do any market research. You know what I mean? Changing demographics. You know, you listen to your family talk, especially Black Americans. One thing that Black Americans families talk about a lot is the changing demographics of a neighborhood. How many times have you been around your older relatives and they be like, oh man, over there shout out to my brother over here because we about to use some Cleveland streets. Man, back in the day, man, I remember when Lee and Harvard used to be all white people. And I remember when Warrensville Heights, that little area over behind South Miles by the Word Church, I remember when that was all white people. And then it was one or two Black families that moved in. And next thing you know, the whole neighborhood was Black. How many Black American people have heard somebody in their family tell a story like that about a place that they lived in? If you chilling over your relative's house and you got older relatives, at some point, they're going to be talking about the neighborhood demographics. Because that's just what people talk about. Now, that means that our older relatives recognize these things. So what's going on in the streets that these dudes in the streets don't recognize these things? And again, this is one of the reasons why I be questioning the stuff that people be saying on YouTube. Like, everybody be like saying all this stuff on YouTube, but I know what went on in my family. You know what I'm saying? And I talk about it a lot of times on YouTube. And then, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you really don't see, like, people be talking about that kind of stuff on YouTube. And it's like, okay, it's just, you know what I'm saying? Did I grow up different? I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? Because the shows that I used to watch, like 227 and Rock and all that, you know what I'm saying? Like, my family was kind of like that. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. I'm sitting there watching these videos. I'm about to do a video about this later with Kamala Harris with that fake Southern accent. Why would you go to Michigan with a Southern accent? And is that actually even a Southern accent, or is it a Hawk-Tuah accent, according to Thomas Sowell? Because you got a bunch of Black conservatives sitting there saying that Kamala Harris is trying to talk like a quote-unquote Southern Black woman, when if you ask me, she sounds like Hawk-Tuah girl, which is more in line with what Thomas Sowell said. But that's interesting. They chose to say that she sounds like a Southern specific person. You know what I'm saying? So like, and then I'm sitting there watching the video of the greens in the bathtub and all that, and I'm sitting there, and I'm sitting there listening to the people that Kamala Harris is talking to, and she's sitting there talking crazy stuff like chili peppers and stuff. What are you talking about? Chili peppers? Somebody should have shut that nonsense right down right then and asked her how long she washed her greens for. Because shout out again to the Black American people. How many of y'all went to church with your whole family? It'd be like 3 cars deep. And the women in the family started cleaning the greens early in the morning, like 6 o'clock, got ready for church, went to church, finished the greens after church. So I would have to ask her, how long did it take for you to get your greens together? And what are you talking about? Chili pepper. Who the hell put chili pepper in their green? Now, some people might. I don't know. People be doing some stuff. I don't know. That ain't nothing that. We ain't had no chili pepper. You know what I'm saying? The way my mom used to make them was she would make them with turnip greens and mustard greens with the collard greens. You know what I'm saying? And then, put some turkey in there or something like that. But it wasn't no chili pepper in there, though. We ain't really use no chili pepper all like that. We mostly use like seasonal and Lowry's garlic salt. I don't know what Kamala Harris be talking about. And I don't be knowing what these people that be listening to her be talking about. Like, what kind of household did you grow up in? You didn't grow up with the bottles with the L on it in there? You didn't have no big bottle of Morton salt in there? Like, I be like, okay, like I hear all these people saying this stuff and I be hearing these people hashtag this stuff, but like, are y'all studio though? You know what I'm saying? Right. Shout out to Patrick. And again, shout out to the Black American people in here. You know what I'm saying? Why is it that, see, listen, I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. The moment somebody start talking about greens, that's a red flag to me. That's a red flag to me. You talking about greens? Man, you just trying to fit in. Talking about greens. Again, you ain't talking about no black eyed peas. You ain't talking about no candy yams. That's the only thing you know is greens. You ain't talking about no grits and eggs. Your mom didn't make you grits and eggs in the morning? Okay. All right, whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Shout out to Deneen. Deneen says she uses bacon, paprika, and garlic. That's another thing. The garlic. I ain't never seen nobody cut up and put no garlic salt maybe, but I ain't never seen nobody cut up and put no garlic in no collard greens. Never have seen that ever in my life. Now, I'm not saying that somebody might not do that, right? But I ain't never seen nobody do. I ain't never seen nobody do that. I never seen my grandmother or my great grandma do that. Who be cutting up garlic, putting it in their greens? I ain't never had no chunk of garlic in collard greens. I've never had that anywhere. Even if you go to Cracker Barrel, because Cracker Barrel actually serve collard greens. Even if you get collard greens from Cracker Barrel, they don't put no garlic in there. What's she talking about? Don't nobody put no garlic in no damn collard greens. Shout out to the Geek Surgeon. The Geek Surgeon said, "Black light people, there are some things about our culture that can't be duplicated. Candaces and unspoken things that don't need to be said." Right? Exactly. That's why I'm sitting there. I'm sitting there looking like, what? And then like I'm watching people react to this, and like they're reacting to the video, but they're not having the same reaction as me. And I'm like, you telling on yourself. You know what I'm saying? You telling on yourself because you should be saying this and you should be saying that. And you know what I'm saying? You not. You sit up there like, she said this. She said that. But you didn't say nothing about the fact that she said she takes garlic and cuts it up in there and puts chili peppers on there. Who sprinkles? Listen, man, whatever. Whatever, man. And again, this is why I shout out to Patrick. This is Patrick be trolling me. This is why I keep asking the question, who taught her how to cook greens and who is she cooking them for? Who are you cooking these collard greens for? I know you're not cooking no collard greens with no damn chunks of garlic in it. If you give some collard greens with some chunks in it and it's not some type of meat or like some, you know what I'm saying, something in there, if you give those to somebody that's used to eating their grandmother or their mom's collard greens, when they hit that chunk of garlic, that hard chunk of garlic in there with them tender greens, they're gonna spit that out, man. What's going on? What's this? What is this? That's not gonna go over well. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. I appreciate you, Brooklyn Queen. If y'all haven't smashed the like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, hit that bell and throw some flames, radiation emoji, and ducks in the chat for Brooklyn Queen. Not only for the Cash App, appreciate it. I know I don't keep my phone with me. So if anybody else has sent Cash Apps, make sure that y'all, you know what I'm saying, let me know. And I'll acknowledge you after, you know, after the stream. I'll tell you in the next one, you know what I'm saying? And show some love for funding the organization.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Silence! Silence! I ain't got no money, pa.
Get the money, y'all. There's poor people around.
I'm rich, bitch!
Definitely.
Get the money, y'all. There's poor people around.
I'm rich, bitch!
I hit the wrong button. Definitely appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. Shout out to Patrick. Patrick said, I just called my mom and she said, yeah, lot. What's a lot put? She said, lot put. I don't know what that is, bro. That's what was she using lot put. Is that some type of, wait, you mean Lowry's? Is that what you're talking about? The seasoned salt or the garlic salt for the greens? Oh, shout out to Fafo. What's good with it, bro? Okay, so I called my mom. Oh, okay, she said a lot of people put garlic in the greens. I never heard it. Now, is she talking about cutting up fresh garlic and putting fresh garlic in the greens like that? Because I ain't never seen nobody do that. But again, you know, like I said, I ain't seen everything, so it could be. That's just not how the greens that, you know what I'm saying, that my mom and my grandma, you know what I'm saying, and them made. I ain't never seen it though, but I don't doubt it. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't never seen, like, garlic is like white, like look like a carrot or a radish, cutting it up, putting it in the greens. I ain't never seen that. And it's crunchy. Garlic is crunchy. Shout out to Mello. Yeah, Kamala was talking straight nonsense. Facts. Facts. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Brooklyn Queen said maybe sauteed onion and garlic, but not cloves of it. Yeah, right, exactly. Patrick said, "Yep, I asked, and it was powder. If it was powder," and she said, "Oh, maybe she just did. Maybe she did. Maybe she put the garlic in there." I just never had it like that. You know what I'm saying? I believe you. Like, that's what I say. Like, I don't doubt it, but it's just not something I ever heard of before. And what about the chili pepper though? Did you ask her about the chili pepper too? Because I ain't never heard of no chili pepper on no on no. And then she was talking about Tabasco sauce and all. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody just dumping out hot sauce on their collard greens except you, Kamala Harris. But okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. And then again, why is it that anybody that people always use collard greens as the reference food? I'm tired of hearing people talk about collard greens. I want to hear people pander with other types of food. You got to expand your pandering vocabulary. If I'm ever able, like I'm telling y'all, when I expand Black Light Revelations to where I'm actually able to go to some of these places, I'm going to pull up on Kamala Harris with some chitlins. And I'm going to ask her if she'll eat these on camera. I'm not going to eat any. You know what I'm saying? Don't ever ask me to eat no chitlins. That's fighting words. But you so black, will you eat these chitlins? Eat these chitlins. See, let me know how they taste. before you know how they taste, you probably gonna know how they smell. And matter of fact, why don't you and Mindy clean some chitlins? Matter of fact, I think that's a great idea for a challenge. Let's do the Kamala Harris and Mindy chitlin cleaning challenge. And let's see if they can actually survive cleaning them chitlins. What y'all think about that? She ain't never ate no gizzards. She don't even know what gizzards are. She'll just start cackling and laughing if you ask her about some gizzards. It's a place near me. They got gizzards. They sell soul rolls and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They sell like salmon bites. They got the good stuff. You know what I'm saying? They got that good high blood pressure diabetic food. I love it. You know what I'm saying? I love it. You know what I'm saying? I want to see Kamala Harris cook some food. I want to see Kamala Harris cook some candy yams. And I want to watch her husband eat them. Feed your husband candy yams. Feed Doug Imhoff candy yams on national television for us. What do you guys think about that? We should put out an edict, a memo to the White House. Kamala Harris could possibly get our vote if she comes on a press conference and prepares chitlins, black eyed peas, and candy yams and feeds chitlins to her husband. Then we'll vote for her. I want to see that. How many of y'all want to see that? And you're allowed to use one handicap. You're allowed to call Mindy and ask her to do something for you one time. You're only allowed to call Mindy. Not allowed to call nobody else. Fact, some fried green tomatoes. Listen, and another thing, listen, check this out, man. This is the for real test. Now, my grandparents used to have a garden on the side of the house and in the front of the house, and they had a little bit of the garden in the back of the house. Like they had like a big garden in the back of the house, but the tomato plants and the pepper plants, them was for sure on the side of the house and in the front of the house. That's some black grandparent stuff right there. But again, like I said, don't nobody be talking about this stuff though on YouTube. Everybody be talking about like all this stuff though, but don't nobody ever be talking about like that stuff. Like, man, going somewhere, man. Like my grandparents on both sides of my family had the tomatoes and the peppers on the side of the house and in the front of the house. Everybody, that's where you got that's what made me think about the fried green tomatoes, because there was always some fried green tomatoes either on the countertop by the sink or on the windowsill. My dad liked fried green tomatoes. I don't even be knowing sometimes like they don't even have no garden, and sometimes like they just be popping up with fried green tomatoes. Where y'all get these fried green tomatoes from? My dad tell my mom to go make them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just be wondering, man, like, don't nobody be talking about this on YouTube, though. And I'm like, yo, like, okay, like, yeah, I hear it, I feel it, yeah. And then, like, don't nobody ever be talking about their, like, experiences, though. But then, like, everybody be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, kind of on the little weird, like, stuff. And it's like, okay, man, whatever, man. No, I ain't. Shout out to this cat right here, man. His family probably did all that. He's a down the way dude. I can just tell. You know what I'm saying? So,
however you want to slice it, and of course, the biggest baddest gang on the planet being the American military. So, I don't know why people can't seem to understand that. I had someone tell me banging is dead. I mean, in a perfect world, I wish that were true. But we know that.
Now, to expand onto his point, I would go as far as to say, not only is gang banging not dead, I mean gang banging is for real politics. The politics is banging red and blue. It's just not looked at like that for whatever reason. But politicians is for sure banging the red and the blue. These is facts. Shout out to Stephen A. Smith. These are facts. These are facts. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Stephen A.
Banging is fully alive. But it's not suiting the purpose of what it originally was created for. So The black gangs who were, like I said, created to serve the community.
So now let me ask you guys this question. Now, this is interesting, right? Because we're going to draw a parallel here. He said the black gangs that were designed to serve the community have failed the community. Now, if we're going to say politics is gangs, is it appropriate to say that the Congressional Black Caucus is a set? The Congressional Black Caucus is a black set of the Democrats. Now, let me ask you guys this question. Has the Congressional Black Caucus failed? If the Congressional Black Caucus has failed, give me a thumbs up. If they haven't, give me a thumbs down. And then, as you see, the politics is mirroring the streets. The politics is mirroring the streets.
Have become the oppressors of the community. And as I said, I was once a part of the problem.
Well, I'll be damned. He said the gangs became the quote unquote oppressors of the community. Ain't that what people say that the CBC and the Boule and all that do? Now, let me ask you guys this question. Is the Congressional Black Caucus and the Boule operating from their original point of creation? Are they operating following their quote unquote original mission versus vision statement? Is that happening? If it is, give me a thumbs up. If it's not, give me a thumbs down. And shout out to everybody that's watching. I appreciate you guys. We got 80 people in here. That's what's up. If y'all haven't smashed the like button yet, take a moment, smash that like button. If y'all haven't hit the bell and subscribe to the channel, take a moment, hit the bell and subscribe. We got 80 people watching and we got 90 likes. If everybody could hit that like, share the stream, and subscribe and try to get the likes to 170, that would be great.
Exploiting the community, destroying the community to enrich ourselves for greed, for profit, and just basically just to raise hell. So, like I said, the complete opposite of what the original purpose, And in the process of this, we sold out to the cartels. So, like I said, this shit is all coming full circle now. And unfortunately, these generations and the future generations gonna have to reap what we sown. So
and that's facts. And what you're watching now, right? The future generation is gonna have to reap what we sow. And the question that I asked, and I've asked this question before, is do you want the future generations talking about us like how a lot of us talk about the past generations? Because they didn't have no migrant crisis during the civil rights era, and the civil rights era actually transitioned from a segregation state to where it's a little bit easier for us to move around in the United States. And look at how people come at them. So my question is, if people came at them the way that they came at, how are people going to come at us? That's my question.
Well, that's what it boils down to, man. A majority of the gangs in this country are cartel controlled. Like I said, especially on the West Coast. And as I said, man, they're looking to establish that protocol throughout the country. So we at a point where this shit gonna go one of two ways. It's gonna be a full-blown war on the streets for an indeterminate amount of time. Or niggas just gonna fold and allow these Venezuelans and these other immigrant gangs to come over and pretty much, and a commenter made a good point. She said, fuck it, let them have the streets. Black, we don't need the streets no more. The streets can ruin more black lives than it. And that's real shit. But tell that to these niggas who live in these, you know what I'm saying? And me coming from environments like that. Tell that to these niggas who have nothing. They come outside and they look around and there's nothing to give them hope. You know what I'm saying? That they can have a future for themselves.
Now, again, I don't know what part of the land that he's from, but if all I gotta say is, if you're confused as to what kind of area he's talking about, do look on YouTube and look at drive-through videos of East Cleveland. If you're confused as to what he might be talking about.
He's successful, but they got this dope money staring them in the face. You know what I'm saying? I'm not justifying it. I'm just trying to rationalize it. But I don't want to get off topic. Make no mistakes, man. A majority of the black gangs, and the major black gangs, and I don't need to be specific. If y'all know, are under cartel control. You know what I'm saying? So West Coast Bloods, Crips, BD, GD, whatever, especially like I said in these border states. Hell yeah, they linked up with the Migos or else. So like I said, this is going one of two ways. It's just going to be war, and it's either that or niggas just going to fold. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going down. It's not as if, the shit is it's already in process. So I don't come on here to promote, why I explicitly speak out against gang violence. But like I said, this is not about gang culture.
So now here go my question for you guys, and shout out to the replay gang and people in the comment section. I want to know what y'all think too. Shout out to Shatira. What's good with it, Shatira? How do you all think that all of this is going to turn out? When the dust settles, how is the world going to look? Let me know what you guys think.
You know what I'm saying? This is about survivalism. So at the end of the day, man, this is not an issue that we can just turn a blind eye to. That's been happening for too long. And like I said, the black
shout out, hold on real quick. Shout out to Carlton. Hold on, I gotta play this real quick.
I shouldn't have said that.
Hey, how many of y'all agree with Carlton? Carlton said data shows that ninjas will fold. If y'all agree, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down.
Black gangs, we sold out the communities. But there is a way to right that wrong. There's a way. But I don't know if niggas really ready for that. 216 Skano.
Yeah, dope video. Like I said, I subscribe to this dude channel because, you know what I'm saying, I rock with it. This is what's up, you know what I'm saying? Andy from Cleveland, like I said, shout out to Northeast Ohio, 216-330-440-234. You know what I'm saying? Definitely, that's what's good. Great content, you know what I'm saying? Gotta definitely support the crib for sure, you know what I'm saying? And there's a article that came out from the Chicago Tribune. All right. 2 years after migrants began to arrive, many have settled into Chicago, even as some continue to struggle. Now, here go my question. Like, we looking at all these crime stories and all this. How can you be, if you're a migrant, how can you be struggling? You got the checks coming from Eric Adams in New York. They out here taking over real estate in Colorado. You know what I'm saying? Minnesota and in California, they getting health care and they about to be allowed to vote. They certain places trying to make them be allowed to vote. Shout out to Honda 666. What's good with it, bro? Certain places are trying to advocate to make it where undocumented people are able to vote. You know what I'm saying? So you know what? Look, I'm about to be lazy. I don't feel like reading it. So we about to listen to we about to let the AI read it. I think they're gonna play an ad too. Now, how they put ads in AI is wild.
2 years after migrants began to arrive, many have settled in Chicago, even as some continue to struggle. Since Texas Governor Greg Abbott began busing migrants to Chicago in August 2022, asylum seekers have transformed the fabric of the city and beyond. More than 47,200, mostly from Venezuela, have passed through Chicagoland and tens of thousands have settled here. Local officials have opened up over 20 buildings to temporarily house them and spent hundreds of millions of dollars. They've watched their hospital.
Hey, that's hilarious, ain't it? Hey, that's some lazy stuff. Get used to it because y'all, anytime they got the AI thing on there, bet the AI finna read it. The AI finna read about to read the article, and I'm gonna just add commentary. So it's about to be like I'm actually doing a reaction to the article. Ain't that terrible? It is what it is. You got to work more efficient these days. If y'all haven't hit the like button, do me a favor, hit the like button. And it's okay if you want to dislike the video for me being lazy, for, you know what I'm saying, allowing the artificial intelligence to contribute to doing things for people that people can do for themselves. I understand and will sympathize with your dislike of the video.
Schools and food pantries fill with record numbers of people. Abbott did not produce the migrant crisis over the past 2 years, but he magnified it, forcing Democrats to reshape their party's thinking about welcoming immigration promises. Today, driven by a June executive order issued by President Joe Biden, buses are no longer arriving in Chicago.
Oh man, that's hilarious. Shout out to the Geek Surgeon. The Geek Surgeon said, "Do the dislike show up?" You probably can't see it on y'all's end, but we can see it on the creator side though. We'd be like, man, who disliked the doggone video for real? You know what I'm saying? I'd be having 100% likes on my videos, and then like it'll be like one person that randomly disliked the video. I'd be like, psh, that's what's up, man. Filter the video out to some people that don't like it. But what people don't know is that it don't matter, like ratioing the video and all that is, you just see it. But what actually matters, what the AI is reading is, did somebody feel was somebody encouraged by this video to engage? Because if you encourage somebody to engage, that's what actually moves the video through traffic. So if the video upset that person so much that they dislike it, that counts just as much as a like, because artificial intelligence doesn't have the inefficiency of human emotion. It only takes into consideration action versus reaction. So the action is either liking or liking the video. And for the AI, that's the same thing. It's only for humans who have the inefficiency of emotion. You know what I'm saying?
Though at the same rates as in 2023. The crisis that officials have long grappled with is entering a new phase. Migrants have lived through 4 seasons in the city. They're moving into neighborhoods. Some are even coming to the city on their own, hearing it's a good place to live. Our job is creating long-term community connections for these families, said Matt DeMatteo, executive director and pastor at New Life Centers, a nonprofit organization helping migrants in collaboration with the city and state. A beautiful tapestry of spaces and places. Indeed, while some migrants have found stability through jobs and a community, many others are still trying to survive as they live in challenging conditions and struggle to find work and go to school. Out of hundreds of migrants interviewed over the past 2 years, the Tribune has followed up with 5 to see how their lives.
And shout out to everybody that's watching, man. We got 75 people in the chat. That's what's up. We got 480 subs over on Undocumented. If the mods could put the link to the chat, or if the mods could put the link to Undocumented in the chat, we only need 20 people to subscribe to get the channel to 500. So we got 74 people in here. If 20 people that's watching this video can subscribe to Undocumented, that would be great. Shout out to Virginia Hernandez. Virginia Hernandez says, black on black crime. You forgot to finish the sentence. Black on black crime is happening at a lower rate than migrant on migrant sex crimes against minors. You forgot to finish the sentence, so I did it for you. Yet something else that somebody has done for you since coming here. You're welcome.
Have unfolded in the city of big shoulders. Mayor Eliezer Gil Blanco says he wouldn't be alive now if he hadn't come to the U.S. While on his journey from Venezuela last summer with his pregnant wife and daughter, the 24-year-old became paralyzed from the chest down due to a rare condition called transverse myelitis, inflammation of the spinal cord. Like many migrants, he has leaned heavily on volunteers and medical resources in Chicago since he arrived. For months, caretaking fell solely on the shoulders of his partner, Genesis Chacon. She had to look after a newborn and a 4-year-old while changing his diapers and flipping him over in bed. After the Tribune reported their story in February, the family received over $80,000 through a GoFundMe page set up by volunteers.
Ancient spirits of evil, transform this decayed form to Mumra, the ever-living!
Do you need an interpreter, Virginia? Before we get started, shout out to the unit. Shout out to the unit. Hit the button. Do you need an interpreter? Or can you read on your own?
Ancient spirits of evil, transform this decayed form to Mumra, the ever-living!
I'm going to ask you, do you need an interpreter again? Let me see. This right here is supposed to match something else. Yeah, here it is. There it is. Yeah. Okay, there we go. We had to have those on the screen at the same time. Okay. And now, for your pleasure, right? For your pleasure, and since you're such a hardworking person, because that's what you people come to do, is work hard, I'm going to help you with your work values. Now you can work even harder to get some nonsense into the chat. How about that? All right. Anyway, let's get back to the Chicago Tribune, who Virginia seems to forgot has written that story, not me.
However, the money proved challenging to manage between family members. Then pressure rose in March when Gil Blanco found out Chacon, 23, was dating someone else. We started fighting. It got really bad, and in front of our girls, he said. Taking care of Gil Blanco and the children was hard for Chacon, said Emily Wheeler, program manager for the Faith Community Initiative.
Idiots! I'm surrounded by incompetent idiots!
I've got morons on my team!
Who has been helping the family. In April, she called us and told us she refused to live with him anymore, that she was taking the girls and leaving, Wheeler said. Chacon used her portion of the money to move to a hotel room. She eventually came back after Gil Blanco said it would be better for their daughters if she were there. They moved to a different apartment in July. Gil Blanco can't bring himself to schedule an appointment for therapy treatments at Cook County Hospital.
That's called pay for play, right? That's called pay for play. Stop she asking for handouts. You know what I'm saying? We don't do that. This is Merca. We don't do handouts in Merca. Right? At least that's what they say. That's what they say. But apparently they do handouts in America, because I just showed where they getting all them food cards for people like Virginia. So,
which has seen at least 34,800 migrants like Gil Blanco through 121,000 visits to its health centers and hospitals. Gil Blanco often sinks into a deep depression, he said. He has regular dreams that he can walk again. He wishes he could do so many things that he can't. On a recent weekday, he sat on a mattress in his new house in the Grand Crossing neighborhood and watched his eldest daughter Mila run around him, her curls bouncing. I felt alone, he said. But my strength comes from my daughters. I want to see them grow up here. Betsabeth Bracho, 34, slept on an air mattress at the Calumet.
hey, shout out to Miss Nisi for giving me a handout. Make sure y'all show Miss Nisi some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for Miss Nisi for funding the organization. I'm up here doing much harder work than Virginia Hernandez has ever done in her life, sitting at my computer.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the march of dimes.
Cash rules everything around me. Queen, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, yo.
Shout out to you, Miss Nisi. I definitely appreciate it. Hey, shout out to Hurricane IQ. Make sure y'all show Hurricane IQ some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for Hurricane IQ funding the organization.
Silence! Silence! I ain't got no money, Pa.
This is the hardest record out.
Cash rules everything around me. Queen, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, yo.
Now, everything was cool until Virginia Hernandez came in here doing this.
Just like a woman. That's because some of you niggas, you be acting just like a woman. Nigga Reaper keep it 1,000.
Acting just like a woman. Her name was Virginia, so she probably was a woman.
Just like a woman. That's because some of you niggas, you be acting just like a woman. Nigga Reaper keep it 1,000.
All right, let's get it.
District, 5th, police station for 7 months before moving into a migrant shelter and then an apartment with her husband, Carlos Ramirez, a former police officer in Venezuela. In June, Bracho said she and Ramirez...
See, it's a reason why, again, if you ask me, there's a specific reason why they keep bringing people, quote unquote, from Venezuela. If you realize that there's a lot of people and they coming from Venezuela and they keep coming together and concentrating in these large numbers with these criminal gangs and these criminal issues, well, you probably want to start decreasing the concentration of those people. That would make the most sense, right? If that makes the most sense, give me a thumbs up. If that don't make sense, give me a thumbs down. So then you got to ask the question, well, why do they keep bringing the same people in? Somebody make it make sense. Shout out to Hurricane IQ. I appreciate it, bro. Hurricane IQ says, here, Virginia, go practice for work tonight. Hey, here she go. She about to get her practice on right now. Check this out. Shout out to people, because people done found her already and they done sent me a video of her practicing for tonight.
That was good. Coconut, yes, 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 yes. But amazing. Meow, 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 yes, yes, yes.
And she said she got a man at home, but you know her man ain't nothing but one of these.
But he lie about everything, don't mean a thing. Said he slept 1,000 women straight up lying. And when it comes to honesty, he's always trying. He posted from not spending the time on the ladies. We all know he's just frontin' like crazy. Said he's a music producer, but it's all fake. Just a mask he wears, and it's all a mistake. Simping Walter is where the lies, claiming things that he just never tries. What we see through his facades, plain to see. Simping Walter, you can't fool me. Simping Walter, you can't fool me. Simping Walter, you can't fool me.
Trolling Virginia, you can't fool me. And you came through the southern border illegally. Illegal Virginia. And you came through that border illegally. Oh man, that's hilarious, man. Damn, that's funny as hell. Hey, if y'all haven't hit the like button yet, do me a favor, take a minute, hit that like button. If you haven't shared the stream, take a moment, share the stream. Y'all already know it's probably going to take about a week for them to approve the monetization on this for the replay viewers.
Fled Venezuela because her husband opposed the government under the country's far-left president.
Now, let me ask you guys this question. The people that opposed our government, they're in jail for January 6th, right? So I think that is interesting that when Trump says they're sending their prisoners here, right? Now he's admitting that he is coming here because he opposed the government. It could be argued that the people on January 6th opposed the government, right? And they're prisoners here. So if people that oppose the government are prisoners here, it's probably likely that somebody that opposed the government there would be a prisoner or either be executed. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. So my question is, how do they rationalize this when discussing this? You know what I'm saying?
To move to a hotel room. She eventually came back after Gil Blanco said it would be better for their daughters if she were there. They moved to a different apartment in July. Gil Blanco can't bring himself to schedule an appointment for therapy treatments at Cook County Hospital, which has seen at least 34,800 migrants like Gil Blanco through 121,000 visits to its health centers and hospitals. Gil Blanco often sinks into a deep depression, he said. He has regular dreams that he can walk again. He wishes he could do so many things that he can't. On a recent weekday, he sat on a mattress in his new house in the Grand Crossing neighborhood and watched his
He got a new house in the Grand Crossing neighborhood. That's nice. That's something to be happy about.
Eldest daughter Mila run around him, her curls bouncing. I felt alone, he said. But my strength comes from my daughters. I want to see them grow up here. Betsabeth Bracho, 34, slept on an air mattress at the Calumet District, 5th, police station for 7 months before moving into a migrant shelter and then an apartment with her husband, Carlos Ramirez, a former police officer in Venezuela. In June.
What happened with this former police officer? Former police officer in Venezuela, and then now you done brought yourself over here. Is this another individual who quote unquote opposes the government? Now, again, you got to ask yourself the question, if a lot of these people quote unquote oppose the government, they oppose the government. My question would be, what's to say that at some point when they get annoyed by something that might not be the way that they like here, that they might be opposed to our government here and start to cause some type of disruptions that were being caused where they were prior. You know what I mean?
June, Bracho said she and Ramirez fled Venezuela because her husband opposed the government under the country's far-left president, Nicolas Maduro. Bracho said police officers at the station didn't know that Carlos had also been an officer in his home country. The couple has come a long way since the Tribune first met them in June last year, when they were eating donated food and—
okay, check this out though, right? Again, I want to make sure that we get all the politics and all the political spectrum, right? They said, listen, pay attention. They said that he opposed the country's far left president. Ain't that what they said? Now, here go my question. Did the people on January 6th, quote unquote, oppose our quote unquote far left government? Is that what happened? Is that the situation? If that's what happened, and if that's the situation, give me a thumbs up. If that's not the situation, then give me a thumbs down. So we'll welcome immigrants in the country who oppose far left governments, but Americans who do it are locked up. It's very interesting. Now, am I caping for these people? No. Am I cool with these people? No. I'm doing the same thing that I always do. We're examining the logic. Now, here's my question. Does the logic make sense? Shout out to Cannon Hotep. Make sure y'all show Cannon Hotep some love and go check his channel out. My man Cannon Hotep says, salute. Trolls are in full effect today, bro. Facts. And I'm the main one. You know what I'm saying? I'm the main one and I'm streaming. You know what I'm saying? Facts. Shout out to you, bro. Make sure y'all show Cannon some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat from my man Cannon Hotep, funding the organization.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the march of dimes.
Silence! Silence! I ain't got no money, pa.
Cannon said trolls in full effect, bro. And the ringleader of them is streaming.
He said, but my strength comes from my daughters. I want to see them grow up here. Betsabeth Bracho, 34, slept on an air mattress at the Calumet District 5th police station for 7 months before moving into a migrant shelter and then an apartment with her husband, Carlos Ramirez, a former police officer in Venezuela. In June, Bracho said she and Ramirez fled Venezuela because her husband opposed the government under the country's far-left president, Nicolas Maduro. Bracho said police officers at the station didn't know that Carlos had also been an officer in his home country. The couple has come a long way since the Tribune first met them in June last year, when they were eating donated food and using a bucket to shower in the police station bathroom. Bracho works at a nail salon now, and they live in an apartment with several other migrants. But she misses her life in Venezuela. She said she was studying to be a preschool teacher. We're not here because we want to be, she said. Bracho and Ramirez left their 2 sons, ages 9 and 12, in Venezuela with family. She calls them every day. Following Maduro's claim of victory in July's election, which led to surging protests across Venezuela, Bracho said she's now concerned about her children's safety. We've been talking about how we're going to take them from Venezuela and bring them to Colombia, or maybe even here, she said. In early August, Bracho went to a demonstration in the Loop to protest what many have described as one of the worst moments in the country in over a decade of decline. She wore a shirt on which she had painted Free Venezuela in red, yellow, and blue. Last November, Jamili Perez, 28, took the first step so that her daughter Kini Mar Avila, a tiny 8-year-old with microcephaly, a condition where a baby's head is smaller than normal causing seizures, developmental delays and intellectual disability, would be able to go to school. Perez had traveled thousands of miles for better opportunities for her daughter. But Kini Mar never went.
So again, like, it's wild to me how these people would they'll just completely leave their family that they have. And just uproot their entire life to come here to the United States, and for what? And then get here and not like it here, and still are reaping and getting all of the best of all of the benefits taken away from the people that are here that actually don't have it really well, that could be using those benefits to try to improve their life and are actually paying taxes for that. Shout out to y'all, man. I got a live stream that just got monetized, so I'm about to release it off of members only, so people will be able to watch it now. So there's one. We still waiting on like we still waiting on a whole bunch. You know what I'm saying? We still waiting on a whole bunch. So yo, I got a question for y'all. When I release the live stream from private or from members only to public, do y'all get a notification that it's been made public? Let me know in the chat if y'all get a notification in public. If you get a notification that has been made public. And also shout out to everybody that's watching. I really appreciate you guys. If you guys haven't smashed that like button, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash that like button. All right. We got 103 likes and we got 65 people watching. If we could get the likes to 165, that would be amazing. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, take a moment, hit that bell, subscribe to the channel. And also share the channel, share the stream to your social media, and tag somebody that you know that's interested in this type of information in your share.
And this year, on the first day of classes, she stayed home, battling a 104-degree fever and bedbug bites on her arms and legs.
Ew.
Perez blames her daughter's health on the crumbing apartment in the South Shore neighborhood where they are living. She says she has tried.
So she blames her health on the South Shore apartment in the neighborhood that they're living in. She don't blame her. She don't blame the health on, like, just, you know what I'm saying, years of living in decrepit, you know what I'm saying, dilapidated, you know, dilapidated conditions and all that. It's the apartment's fault. Well, if it's here go my thing. If it's the apartment's fault, why did you cross the Darien Gap to get to that apartment? When, if it's the apartment's fault, you didn't have that apartment before you came here. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
To wash everything and spray all surfaces. She can't throw out her clothes and furniture because she doesn't have money to replace them.
They do have
on
money.
A visit to the apartment in early.
They get a lot of money. Shout out to everybody that's watching. Shout out to the new subscribers, and even shout out to the old subscribers that may have not done this yet. There's 3 playlists on this channel. I don't know if anybody uses playlists to watch YouTube content, but if you do use playlists, make sure that you watch the Undocumented Bros playlist. Make sure you watch the Immigration playlist, and make sure that you watch the Undocumented Crime Cast playlist. You guys should watch all of those if you're interested in this type of content.
August, the Tribune saw bedbugs crawling on the Kini Mar's mattress. Neither Perez nor her husband have permits to work legally. A workshop run by the federal, state, and local governments, working in conjunction with.
Hey, look, hey, shout out to the trolls. They still in here with their cheap self. I'm gonna make y'all spend that money that on that MasterCard that Eric Adams gave y'all. I'm gonna make y'all spend that money on that MasterCard that Eric Adams gave y'all. Now, shout out to the people that are quote unquote considering, right? No pressure, considering super chatting or anything like that. To the people with the gray names, y'all might hope that you might get a gifted membership if someone is so generous as to gift membership, because we're going to see how this go, and the members only mode might mess around and get turned on again. We're going to see. But we'll do it tier 1, tier 2. I went straight to tier 3 just to do it. We're going to go tier 1, tier 2, then tier 3. So let's go.
The shelter system has helped more than 8,700 migrants submit applications for permits. But Perez didn't know about it. And with the odd job she's picked up, she can't afford to move.
Shout out to T-Lo. Shout out to T-Lo. Shout out to CX1. What's good with it? If y'all agree with T-Lo, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree with T-Lo, give me a thumbs down. T-Lo said, these mugs have nerve crossing the border illegally and complaining about being uncomfortable. Go home. Facts. Super facts. Virginia says, blacks ain't the ones to talk about other races. Mind your business. Actually, yes, we are. We are absolutely the ones to talk about other races. And the reason why is because all of you other races all act the same and have all been dominated by the same small races of people that you're so proud of. The only elements of your culture that you're proud of are the non-native elements of your culture by that small group of people that has completely taken you all over. The fierce warriors and all, Aztecs and Mayans type thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, But you Catholic? You go to a Catholic church? Is Hernandez your tribal last name, or did that come from somewhere else? That don't sound Aztec or Mayan. Hernandez sounds kind of popey, if you know what I mean. Sounds kind of popey. I'm just curious.
To another apartment. I just want to be in a place where my daughter is protected, she said. Several other
and this is interesting. Virginia Hernandez says, is Johnson your last name? Well, it's clear now that you need an interpreter. Now, let me ask you a question. Is Salzman a Latino last name? If Salzman is a Latino / Spanish last name, give me a thumbs up. If it's not, then give me a thumbs down. Why am I asking that question? Well, I'm asking that question because somebody by the name of Nell Salzman wrote this article. And somebody by the name of Artificial Intelligence is reading it. So my question is, what's your problem here? What's your problem here, young lady? What's your problem here? Are you one of those disgruntled folks? Are we gonna have to teach you a lesson? Are you gonna have to? Yeah, we're gonna have to teach you a lesson. Tier 1. Shout out to the TCU. I need the TCU to put the alarms in the chat and type in Tier 1. Tier 1 defenses have been activated. Tier 1 defenses have been activated. Tier 1 defenses have been activated.
Migrant families live in the building, she said, and when they shower, water from the upstairs pipes runs down the walls in her bathroom. It's so bad that even doctors don't want to do home visits. I've told the landlord a lot of times that I have a child with special needs, Perez said. They know they need to fix the house. Lori Wyatt, who helps manage the property, said exterminators have tried treating Perez's apartment multiple times. They've instructed her to bag or get rid of her bedding. Once you have an infestation like that, it's just really hard, Wyatt said. Perez said she would return to Venezuela or move to another state if it weren't for Kinimar's condition and the network of support she's built here. While Perez and her husband work painting and cleaning.
Hey, you know what's crazy? This is what's crazy. I had the members only on for a minute, and they just sat there and waited to type again. You ain't got nothing else to do? Like, for real? You just sat in the chat. It might have never went back to subscribers only. Shout out to Tier 1 Defense activated. Shout out to Tier 1 Defense activated. Don't make us have to activate it again. Don't make us have to activate it again.
Again!
Oh man, I don't know what's wrong with Virginia. Why she can't read? Might be this.
So dumb. You are really dumb. For real. Oh, you are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Hey, Virginia, he talking to you.
So dumb. You are really dumb. For real. Oh, you are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Man, you try to be nice, you know what I'm saying? Take the chat off, put it back on regular so everybody can chat, and here she come messing stuff up again.
Just like a woman. That's because some of you niggas, you be acting just like a woman. Nigga, Reaper keep it 1,000.
Hey, I'm about to make a compilation video of the Reaper keep it 1,000 saying just like a woman for 10 minutes. It's gonna be a compilation video of Reaper saying just like a woman, like on a whole bunch of different episodes, 10 minutes worth of Reaper saying just like a woman. What y'all think? What y'all think? Y'all think that'd be a good video? Let me know. If y'all want me to make that video, throw some flames in the chat.
Cleaning jobs during the day, she often relies on friends to help at home. My little girl is always at risk of having a seizure, she said. Her saving grace has been the community of other migrants who live in the same apartment building, especially the children. Her 9-year-old son, Kinar, likes to play in the backyard with them. 2 months after she was sexually abused while looking for an apartment in the Roseland neighborhood,
Now who did that? Who? I wonder who it was. I wonder who the offender was that did this. I want to ask y'all this question. Who do you all think was the offender that did that to her? Let me know what y'all think.
While Perez and her husband work painting and cleaning jobs during the day, she often relies on friends to help at home. My little girl is always at risk of having a seizure, she said. Her saving grace has been the community of other migrants who live in the...
I try to tell y'all, man, that dude is hilarious, man. He funny as hell. When more people start like catching on to his channel and watching, he gonna blow up at some point because he funny as hell. he hilarious. Shout out to Carlton. If y'all agree with Carlton that that's a good possibility of who did it, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree and think that somebody else might have done it, then give me a thumbs down.
Same apartment building, especially the children. Her 9-year-old son, Kinar, likes to play in the backyard with them. 2 months after she was sexually abused while looking for an apartment in the Roseland neighborhood, a Venezuelan woman, whose name is being withheld because she is a victim, said she was attacked and robbed. She said her immigration papers and valuables were stolen near her home about a month ago. The 2 back-to-back incidents have crippled her with fear. While her husband works, she spends most of her time inside their home in the Austin neighborhood. Her sons run around the apartment revving engines on their invisible motorcycles. The first attack happened at the beginning of summer. Eager to leave the shelter where they were staying, the woman had found an apartment listing on Facebook for a room in the Roseland neighborhood. As she walked behind Roseland Community Hospital, trying to find the apartment, a man approached her and offered to help. She refused, but he proceeded to back her into an alley, and groped, bit and tore at her clothes, all while her child watched and screamed in a stroller. The only thing I could do at that moment was grab my son. My son held on to me and wouldn't let go, the woman recalled to the Tribune in July. Her second attack happened a couple of weeks ago when she was at a birthday party at a friend's house, she said. She went to a corner store across the street to buy some extra food when a man came after her for her wallet, she said. I started screaming. I thought it was the same attacker, she said. The woman has received no answers from detectives after she filed a police report in early August. What will it take for the detectives to pursue my case? She asked through tears. Do I need to be raped and killed? On Monday, Angelica Beltran, 45, and her son, Ingerbert Morales, took a photo in front of the bean. A week earlier, she threw a party for his 9th birthday. She had a cake with white and green frosting, and more than 20 kids were there, all people they'd met since arriving in Chicago last July.
I'm not trying to be funny, but like you doing all right if you can have a birthday party like that, right? You're not doing you surviving, you living, right? Ain't that bad now if you can have a birthday party, right?
Was a far cry from when the Tribune first met Beltran and her son, Ingerbert, earlier this year, as he cried on his way to school. The family was part of a state housing program that provided $53 million to move migrants into over 6,000 homes, according to data provided by a state spokeswoman. Although Beltran expressed gratitude to the state for helping her with 6 months of rental payments, in their rush to leave the migrant shelter, they had moved to an apartment in Englewood that was too small, and the block felt unsafe. Recently, they've moved into a different apartment in Englewood, where the family has more
shout out to Catsy. Throw some cats in the chat for Catsy.
space and the block is quieter. Beltran and her husband, from Venezuela, received work permits several months ago by claiming temporary protected legal status, which allows people from certain countries to live and work in the United States. The couple has...
And remember, okay, so guys, remember, part of the Biden-Harris administration thing is that they expanded this definition of temporary protected custody to encompass a broader group of people in an effort to decrease the quote-unquote status of illegal people by legalizing their status of how they're here now. So just remember that.
Found jobs at restaurants on the South Side. They're able to make rental payments and are saving up for a car. Beltran's biggest worry now, she said, is enrolling Ingerbert in school. He still can't read. Last year, he stopped going to school because he was embarrassed he didn't speak English. She had wanted to enroll him in a bilingual school, but there wasn't one nearby. It's just hard for me to talk to people, he said. As of April 12 this year, Chicago Public Schools estimates it has served a total of 9,800 new arrival students. CPS has increased the number of teachers who are certified as bilingual, English as a second language or both, by nearly 40% since 2018. Still, thousands of kids who have moved to new neighborhoods are adjusting to...
Shout out to Kip Doctor. Kip Doctor says they always blame Texas. Denver and New York City sent illegals to Chicago too. Facts. Now here goes my question. Why do you guys think that they don't bring that up very often? Why do you guys think that they don't bring that up very often? Because if you ask me, they should. That's definitely important. Why don't they say anything about that? Shout out to everybody watching. We got 60 people watching. We got 105 likes. Shout out to y'all for hitting that 100 mark. Throw them 100s in the chat. We hit a milestone. That's what's good. That's what's good. Let's try to get it to 160. Smash that like button. Hit that bell. Share the stream. If you've done all that and you enjoy the content, throw some thumbs up or some like enforcers in the chat.
Schools with few Spanish-speaking classmates. Last year, Beltran knew the transition from their country hadn't been easy for Ingerbert, so she didn't push him to go to school. But this year, she planned to try again. On a baseball diamond on a warm summer night in the little village neighborhood, Yoel Guerra stood in a circle with his teammates as they held hands and prayed. The 16-year-old from Venezuela said he likes Little Village summer softball because it's different from baseball for his school or for his Cubs traveling team. Thursday nights in the summer, he plays with people of all ages, including his stepdad. Guerra's family of 7 lives nearby, and his little siblings sit on the sidelines of their games. They'll snack on Cheetos and run around on the fields nearby. For Guerra, who has been playing baseball since he was 4, the game has become a refuge and a reminder of home. It's a place to unwind and focus on one thing. Guerra is not just joyful when he plays baseball, but is naturally gifted. His coaches think he has a chance of playing in college. Knowing that, this year he's focusing on his grades. He's also focusing on Farragut Career Academy's teen goals. They moved up divisions after winning their conference last year, and they want to win again. I love the community here, Guerra said. Each day, Guerra said baseball, his country's most popular sport, gives him something to look forward to and people to look up to in the U.S. Chicago Tribune's Joe Marr contributed.
So there's that. All right. So we got 2 conflicting stories. We've got stories saying how, these migrants are coming here, getting a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? They're building business and criminal value chains. And then we got, other stories like sob story, like what we just heard there. Also, we got stories like what's going on over on Undocumented with all the insanity going on in New York City. So we got to try to figure out what's what. You know what I'm saying? So y'all know what it is today. Got a lot of content. Got to find a way to put it out. So you know what I'm saying? We're going to do that. Got some more streams coming for y'all. Like I said, the next one will probably be on Megatron. All right. So if y'all not subscribed to Megatron, if the mods could put the link to Megatron in the chat, I greatly appreciate it. I want to shout out everybody who was kind enough to come. We hope that we see you again. Shout out to the stream sponsors. Without y'all, it ain't none of this. Shout out to my man Patrick. Make sure y'all show all these people some love. Oh, shout out to Patrick again. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. I just remembered about the Cash App. Anybody else that Cash App, if you did, I appreciate it. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Show her some love for the Super Chat and the Cash App. Definitely appreciate it. Shout out to Miss Nisi. Definitely appreciate it. Shout out to Hurricane IQ. Definitely appreciate it. Shout out to Hurricane IQ. Definitely appreciate it. And shout out to Cannon Hotep. Definitely appreciate it. And see, this is what I'm saying, y'all. Trust me. Trust me. This is why I be saying not to block the trolls. I got it. Worst come to worst, I'll call, but I got it. I got it. See, ain't it more fun this way? Ain't it more fun this way? So, ladies and gentlemen, I may or may not see you momentarily. And if I don't, as always,